Tánaiste, the government has set out a target of having 50% of jobs outside Dublin, and while it's achieving that, the difficulty is that the vast majority of jobs are still located in our cities around the country, and the provincial towns are the ones that are losing out, particularly in relation to foreign direct investment. And I want to know, what are we going to do to address that?
Again, Chair, thanks for giving some leniency on the timing of this. Deputy, I think you have a couple of questions in this space, so I think that the answer is probably pretty similar. I know you've had a discussion already with Deputy Cleary on it, but I'll try to add to that as well, because delivering balanced regional growth and job creation is a core objective of the government, and something that you know we're very committed to, and we want to try to help as best we possibly can. And it's a key component, again, in the recently published white paper on enterprise, which sets out enterprise policy and kind of high-end thinking for the next 5 or 6 years out to 2030 and beyond. The government's white paper on enterprise emphasises the role my department and its agencies continue to play in achieving this objective through direct assistance to business, as well as promotion and enhancement of the regional enterprise ecosystem to encourage business to invest and create jobs. For example, the white paper includes a target of unemployment not exceeding 1 percentage point of the national unemployment rate in any region. Enterprise Ireland has a continued focus on supporting enterprise in all regions to adapt to a challenging market environment and on maximising job retention and creation. Enterprise Ireland's strategy has set targets of creating 45,000 new jobs by 2024, and that over 2/3 of these jobs will be created outside Dublin. Regional development is at the centre of the IDA strategy. The IDA is also committed to more balanced, compact regional development and will target half of all its investments from 2021 to 2024 to regional locations. And the results are out this week, and again will show, quite success in achieving that regional balance, while not into every town and village that you would ask, but there is that regional balance as well. The local enterprise offices, I think, are a key part of achieving what we all want to achieve here, and are at the very heart of business development and entrepreneurship in our towns and communities right across the country. The LEOs will continue to enhance their advisory services for locally trading firms to improve productivity, particularly around digitalisation and reducing energy and carbon emissions. That's around the supports. The key strategy, I think, that we can make some progress here, I think, is on the regional enterprise plans. And we're now into the third iteration of them as well. And you're involved with Mayo and Galway, if I understand, as it was Common County. And in that plan, and thankfully there's 9 regional plans in place. They're locally driven by local entrepreneurs involved with the state agencies locally across all the education, social protection, all our agencies like Enterprise Ireland, LEOs, local authorities and so on as well. They are in charge of bringing forward their own plans. Money has been secured to drive those ideas, those concepts, those actions like hubs or other situations as well. 145 million is there to drive that agenda. Happy to work with you on some initiatives, as Minister Cleary said as well, to bring forward job opportunities in your town.
Minister, in Project Ireland 2040, we set out a hub and spoke strategy, and one of the towns that was designated for growth was the town of Athlone to become a potential new city, and to help attract IDA and foreign direct investment jobs into the region. And that is happening very successfully in Athlone. Athlone is fast becoming the Silicon Heartlands, has more tech jobs per capita now than anywhere in Northern Europe. But the difficulty is that the other towns around that are not benefiting. Longford, Roscommon, Ballinasloe, Mullingar, Tullamore. So the spoke is not working. What are we doing to actually deliver on that objective?
So again, Deputy, and we've been involved in setting out those growth centres and that process to say Athlone. It was a regional one. Sligo was another regional one as well. We know our cities are already thriving with Galway, Limerick, Waterford, Dublin and Cork. The growth centres then, particularly Athlone, Dundalk, Drogheda, Sligo, are where you try to target in the infrastructure that means that those areas are ready to create jobs and can win jobs. And we've seen the success of that, as you said yourself, in Athlone. Stage 2 then is that the region benefits from that, and success, when the companies then make the second stage investment or a third stage investment, they often look beyond that regional centre they're in and pick the next one. So when we sit down with an IDA client, you can't drag them into an area, you have to attract them into an area through all the various mechanisms that are there to push them out to a region, and then they get familiar with a region and they make decisions beyond that for them as well. But what's more important though, when you go into the other towns and counties that you reference, is it has to be locally grown Irish companies. I think it's the best chance they can win here, and we want to support them. I believe the regional enterprise plans are a key area to identify what works for each individual town and village that you want to drive jobs in. You have to put in place the ecosystem to make it happen. The supports that are there, the opportunity to invest in buildings or hubs or other infrastructure as well. But there has to be some suggestions locally as well how to make that happen. There has key sites, which you flagged before in your own area too, that could be looked at to develop into enterprise facilities as well. And that's what the money there of 145 million can make happen over the next 2 or 3 years, if the right ideas come forward.
Well, Minister, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because over the last 2 years, I've said to the Tánaiste here that 15 minutes up the road from Athlone is the town of Ballinasloe. Now, as we know, there is a limited ability to expand or bring a large investment into Athlone, either on the Roscommon side or on the Westmeath side, because the industrial lands are not there. There is a 50-acre land bank available in the town of Ballinasloe that is in public ownership, and the IDA has point blank refused to acquire those lands where the infrastructure is in place, the water, the wastewater, the fibre optic cable, all of the infrastructure is there, and yet the IDA has point blank refused to acquire those additional lands and to market that particular campus to investors in the Midland region.
Again, Chair, I would have recently met a lot of residents and business owners in Ballinasloe, as you know, with some of your colleagues and with Senator Ashton Dolan as well, to do exactly this, to focus in on what we can do for that particular town. And again, the IDA do own other land in Ballinasloe and the surrounding areas as well that is being marketed, and they've had some success as well over the years on that. In relation to that 50-acre site, something that I'm quite interested in myself, we looked at it before from what's the potential with it for housing and so on, but that to me is a perfect site that could be developed under the regional enterprise plan in conjunction with the local authorities, putting that forward as a key action to grow an enterprise unit or enterprise centre, or the opportunity to create jobs and the blend with education and skills. I don't think you need to have the IDA involved in that site at all. They have other land that they should prioritise. But that is an opportunity there, because I agree with you, there's infrastructure there, and it's a perfect site that locally driven, looked at through the eyes of the local authority that you work with, and to bring forward a plan. There are mechanisms and there are funding opportunities in the regional enterprise plans to fund something like that, and certainly to start it off and kick it off, because there's a perfect opportunity there, in my view, to have an enterprise education combination on that site, locally driven, to create local jobs, and give the opportunity to a lot of Irish entrepreneurs who need access to a property solution in that area, and to bring them back to create jobs in your own county, and they're well capable of doing it with the right coordination.